Hey guys, Graham here from the recordingrevolution.com with another 5 minutes to a better mix video where we've been looking at 31 mixing tips in 31 days. And we're halfway through this entire month of mixing tips. Thanks for joining us so far. We've got a lot of more awesome tips coming your way. And today's one is a good one. We're going to look at using reverb with pre-delay on your snare drum. And the idea being, if you're having reverb on your snare to maybe give it some space, so when they're cracking on the snare, it sounds like it just rings in a space because probably you didn't record your drums in a nice big space where you got that sound that we're all looking for. Most of us have small home studios, so maybe it's in a bedroom, maybe it's a living room. Whatever the case, we're going to use some post-processing, and maybe reverb is something you will reach for. If you do, you may be fighting with all the decay and it washing out and too much. You're trying to find the balance of, I want it to hear the reverb, but I don't want to hear the reverb at the same time. Using pre-delay is a great tip. Let me show you how to do this. So I've got just some simple drums, kick, snare, and overheads, and I've got a reverb right here on just a factory default setting with 100% wet room size. I don't even know what room it is. And I've got a send on the snare drum only. So only the snare drum is being sent to this reverb, and a good amount of it's being sent. But take a listen to what's happening just with a typical reverb setting. All right, now that doesn't sound natural. Obviously, you could dial back the size of the room. And that's better, but I kind of don't really hear the reverb anymore. So a compromise is to use pre-delay. Now pre-delay on this reverb, it's right up here on this knob, is what it sounds like. It makes a delay of whatever goes through it. So in our case, if you hit the snare and you crank the pre-delay, you're going to hear an exact copy of it. Let me turn the room size all the way down, and I'm going to turn the pre-delay all the way up. So we're not going to hear any room resonance. We're just going to hear the delay. Listen to this. Okay, it's an exact delay. So the idea of this is send a delay, pre-delay, through your reverb all in one unit, okay? Without getting technical, let me just show you what it sounds like. I'm going to bring up the room size 100% and the pre-delay 100% just so we can hear it. I'm going to dial it back. It's the delay copy that's getting sent through the reverb, all right? So let me dial the pre-delay back. And now let me turn the room size down. Do you kind of hear what's happening? We're losing a lot of the decay, the long drawn out space, but we're still getting, because of this pre-delay, it gives the ear a trick of hearing it resonate for a second without the long drawn out delay. Listen to it again. We'll bypass. So no sense of space, no reverb. Use the pre-delay. Sounds like it's in a nice room, right? Without it sounding like a fake reverb, which we had before. I find that using a healthy dose of pre-delay mixed in with a smaller room size can get you the space that your ear wants to hear with a snare drum every time it gets cracked without creating a wash of decaying sound that gets muddled into the rest of your mix, because you've got other instruments going on. You're not just going to be listening to the drums by themselves. And yes, you can mess with reverb time, and yes, you can mess with the mix knob, but don't neglect pre-delay as a way to create that sense of space that a short burst of energy like a snare drum hit is looking for, to give it some place and some prominence in the mix without taking over the rest of it, all right? So grab a reverb, any reverb, and start playing with room size and pre-delay and see if you can get a good sound. Thanks for tuning in again, guys. This is Graham here at the recordingrevolution.com with 5 minutes to a better mix. We've got plenty more of these coming, so I hope to see you on the next video.